Hello everyone, and this is Inayat Me with my VMware ESXi 6.5 overview. So this is just an overview of the installation what we had, and you might have seen my previous 3 videos where I have this detailed information about the configuration. So let's go on top of those configurations. The way you have your first time login after a reboot, you have to use your root account. Then you have to use F2 once you log in. If you have a wrong password, you will see an option there. If you want to reboot, you have to hit F12 first, then F11. That will reboot your ESXi server. So this is a ESXi 6.5 server. So I have 2 hosts here. I am demoing this from my only first available host. So now you are rebooting after using F11 followed by F12 command. So a couple of tips I'm using here while I am rebooting and going back on main screen. Use up and down arrows keys and hit space for selection. So anything you select, before you select, you use your up and down arrows. Use enter once changes made. Then you have to use escape to save the changes with yes, or you can discard your changes with no. And after changes made, else you can keep escape again and you decide what to do. Again F11 restart, F12 shut down, then F11 to restart, and F2 for customization. So these are the tips I'm using here on screen to give you some heads up. So just be proactive, take a look and note down these keys which you will see on screen as well, but for exam purposes you're not gonna see anything right in front of your eyes. So for exam you have to memorize, but whenever you reboot, server will take a while to reboot, couple of minutes here. To get to this screen, you might want to wait approximately 3 to 10 minutes, depends on the server, basically a capacity, how good the server is. Now again, when you want to go back to your configuration screen to customization screen, you have to use F2 to go to your root account. This is the account when we actually provisioned this server first time, installation time. So you have to use that account, root account. Root account will be only for administrators, the person who manages the root account. VM 0 you have right now. I'm going to add 3 more network cards. IP scheme, I have a static IP on my ESXi1. I'm using 1.19. ESXi2 I'm using 1.20. For my domain I'm using a different number at the end. I believe I'm using a 1.213 for my domain. Domain name will be dev.com. So dev.com will be actually having these all accounts, these server accounts. The dev.com will include ESXi1, ESXi2. Then I have a vCenter server running Windows Server 2012 R2 operating system. So that will be my vCenter eventually, which is currently a member server under my dev.com domain. So if you want to look at or add your DNS suffix, you can add from this screen here. Your DNS suffix should be your domain name actually. In this case, for me here should be dev.com. So these are all you consider as a post-installation configuration view screens. That is where we are going to look at it. So if you want to use a dynamic IP address, you can use. If you want to use a static IP address, you can use. Most likely for ESXi servers, I would always recommend a static IP address. You can restore network settings, then you will see automatically your IP is being changed actually, or is changed to dynamic. Then you have to come back with a configuration scheme or IP scheme where you're going to install that one. So again, whenever you got this main screen here, then you have to use again F2 to go back and use your root account or root account password. No matter you are using a home lab or you are using a production environment, you have to go through these all steps anyways to configure your server. You also can use actually a remote control access. Remotely, I will show you how you can access your ESXi servers from your vCenter remotely. You can look at your logs. You will see the number corresponding to the area where you want to look at the log. You can quit with a Q, or you can use H as a help. So 1 to 6, you can read actually those all numbers. All you have to press on the keyboard which number actually you are looking for. You are looking for number 1 or number 6 or number 3. That's what you can use. Here is a view support information. Here you can see the info about your license serial. This is evaluation right now, and you also can see your serial number. You will see your SSL certificate information and thumbprint and a support website. You always can escape to go out of this screen. Whatever you have, escape is equivalent to quit. Again, when you actually go back to your main screen and you want to go back again to ESXi server, you have to use F2 and root account. This is my Windows Server 2012 R2 operating system server. You actually can go through the IE to access your ESXi server. So here I'm not going to discuss much about my domain, but I'm using my IP address of my ESXi1 server. You can continue. I don't have a certificate. Use your root account to log into your ESXi server directly, which is a first ESXi. I named it ESXi1. This server is a member of dev.com domain. So you can see that ESXi.dev.com, which was my suffix as well. You can see these warnings, ignore them. I enabled my SSH or ESXi shell, so not necessarily I need it now, but later on we will discuss about SSH and WinSCP client. This is the info what you see right now. I have increased my memory from 4 GB to 8 GB. Will still use my 2 CPUs, but later on I'm gonna increase my CPU and core. Also, I might gonna use 4 or 8 CPUs. You look at the other information about the configuration. This is just a browsing around through the vCenter servers. So I did not install vCenter yet. So I'm not in vCenter because I did not complete my prerequisites, and I have to install my .NET Framework 4.5 and meet some other requirements. I have to join my this server to my dev.com. If I did not, I have to go into my domain controller. Actually, in my DNS, I have to add my static entries for my 2 ESXi servers, which I did not complete so far. So these all things are actually pending because this is a brand new whole new environment where we are just looking at the environment or the lab setup. So you can consider this one as a lab. I'm using a VMware Workstation 11. I would suggest the same for the home lab. You can use it. It is very good tool actually, VMware. And if you are using a Hyper-V, you cannot use VMware on the same server or same client. So you might have to remove your Hyper-V, which I did actually. And then you can install ESXi servers on a VMware workstation. And it is a good idea to just run a test lab where you can test things. So if you continue watching these video series, I am going to go through every single thing what you can expect that can be good for a production setup. So we don't have very powerful equipments here, but we have a good technical power here to use actually whatever we have to demo the real environment. So this was my video 3. I'm coming back with my couple of more videos until I have satisfaction actually about this topic. So thank you for watching my this new video series about VMware. I will come back and talk to you again in my next video. Have a nice time. Bye.